From Windows to Linux Mint 22.3, a 30-day productivity challenge. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you've been watching my tech deep dives, you know I've been frustrated with Windows lately. Bloat, forced updates that kill my workflow, and that constant feeling that my PC is working against me instead of for me. So I did something radical. I wiped Windows completely and spent 30 full days running my entire professional life on Linux Mint 22.3 Zena with the Cinnamon desktop. No dual boot safety net, no looking back. This wasn't a casual test. It was a real high-stakes challenge to see if Mint's legendary stability and privacy could actually replace Windows for demanding day-to-day productivity work.
I'm a content creator, writer, and occasional video editor. My days involve heavy multitasking across browsers, note-taking apps, office suites, design tools, and the occasional deep dive into creative software. I needed to know, can Cinnamon deliver the familiar Windows-like workflow without the headaches? Or would driver issues, missing apps, and terminal tinkering eat up more time than they saved?
First, let's talk about the migration and initial friction. Installation was refreshingly straightforward. I downloaded the Cinnamon Edition ISO from the official Linux Mint site, created a bootable USB, and within 15 minutes, I was in the live environment testing my hardware. It felt instantly familiar. Cinnamon's taskbar, start menu, and system tray layout echo Windows in the best way, but without the clutter. No bloatware, no forced Microsoft account sign-in, just a clean desktop ready to go. Hardware setup was the first real test. My machine has a modern NVIDIA GPU and some newer peripherals. Linux Mint 22.3 ships with the HWE kernel 6.14 by default, which gives excellent out-of-the-box support for recent AMD and Intel chips, and the built-in driver manager made installing the proprietary NVIDIA drivers effortless. A quick reboot and everything. Multi-monitor setup, GPU acceleration, even Wi-Fi and Bluetooth just worked.
I did have to enable a couple of proprietary codecs for media playback, but that was a one-click process in the welcome wizard. The immediate missing tools moment hit when I tried to import my Windows workflows. No big deal. Most of my core apps had native Linux options or excellent alternatives. I imported my files, set up backups with TimeShift, Mint's built-in snapshot tool, and within an hour, I was productive. The learning curve was gentle. Keyboard shortcuts felt natural, and the file manager, Nemo, already supported the same drag-and-drop and right-click behaviors I was used to.
Now let's talk about bridging the software gap. This is where Mint shines in 2026. Flatpak support is deeply integrated and enabled by default via FlatHub. So I installed industry-standard tools like Obsidian and DaVinci Resolve with zero dependency headaches. DaVinci actually has official Linux builds now, and it ran flawlessly after a quick Flatpak install, full GPU acceleration, timeline scrubbing, and exports that matched or beat my old Windows performance. For the few legacy Windows-only utilities that didn't have native equivalents, I turned to Bottles, a user-friendly wine front end. It handled my niche accounting tool and an older design app without issues. I also evaluated web-based enterprise apps. Most of my cloud tools, Google Workspace, Notion alternatives, project management dashboards, performed identically in Firefox, often with better privacy and fewer background processes eating RAM.
No more hunting for .exe files or dealing with sketchy download sites. The software manager and Flatpak integration made everything feel modern and secure.
Now let's talk about optimizing the Cinnamon workflow. Here's where the real productivity magic happened. Cinnamon 6.6 in Mint 22.3 is polished. The redesigned application menu now has a customizable sidebar for favorites, places, and quick access, far more efficient than Windows 11's cluttered start menu. I added applets and desklets for a distraction-free setup, a workspace switcher that shows only visible windows, hot corners for instant overviews, and advanced tiling that let me snap windows perfectly across my dual monitors.
I set up custom keyboard shortcuts that mirrored and improved on my Windows muscle memory. System resource usage? Dramatically lower. On the same hardware, Mint used noticeably less RAM and CPU during heavy multitasking. No more mysterious background services spiking usage. Render times in video exports felt snappier, and the system stayed cool and quiet even during long editing sessions.
Now let's talk about the mid-month reality check. By week 2, the initial honeymoon phase was over, and real-world friction appeared. I hit one minor audio routing glitch after a kernel update, easily fixed by switching back to the stable LTS kernel option if needed, and a couple of Flatpak permissions tweaks for theme consistency. Nothing that required deep terminal diving. Mint's graphical tools handled almost everything. The mental shift was interesting. Yes, there's a bit of Linux tinkering at the start, but once configured, it's far less intrusive than Windows. The update manager is a dream. It installs updates in the background, notifies you cleanly, and rarely forces reboots during work hours. No more restart now pop-ups in the middle of a deadline. Privacy felt tangible. No telemetry, no ads in the start menu, full control over what runs.
I tracked my time. After the first week, I was actually saving 30 to 45 minutes a day because the system was more responsive and I wasn't fighting the OS.
Now let's talk about the final verdict on professional viability. After 30 days of real work, documents, videos, research, client calls, and heavy multitasking, I can confidently say the Switch delivered a net productivity gain. Quantitative data from my logs. Faster boot times, lower resource overhead, often 20 to 30% less RAM under load, smoother multitasking, and zero forced interruptions. Stability was rock solid. I had fewer crashes and issues than on Windows 11. Who should make the jump right now? Writers, office workers, developers, and light to moderate creators who value speed, privacy, and control. Anyone tired of Windows bloat or running older hardware that Microsoft wants to obsolete?
Who should wait? Professionals locked into very specific Windows-only enterprise software, certain Adobe suites or proprietary industry tools that don't run well even under Wine. For most of us, though, web versions or native Linux alternatives have closed those gaps in 2026. My long-term decision? I'm staying on Mint 22.3. It feels like a permanent home, stable until 2029, constantly refined, and genuinely respectful of my time. Linux Mint didn't just replace Windows. It improved my workflow in ways I didn't expect. If you're on the fence about switching, try the live USB first. The friction is minimal, the rewards are real, and the privacy and performance gains are worth it. Drop your questions or your own Switch stories in the comments. I read every one. Thanks for watching. If this helped, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay productive.